If you're inspired by deep spiritual philosophy and even like the idea of being part of a spiritual community, but more importantly, you also think that spiritual living should be both fun and practical, that is, applying your individual purpose and your individual talents into the world that we live in, not escaping off into your own little area and not thinking that you have that you play a role in humanity, but actually contributing to the well-being of humanity and transforming life. That's what this community is all about. And if that is you, then I welcome you to hang out with me in this video as I walk you through this tool that I've been developing, and it is absolutely free for you. Now, what is the catch when you hear free? Yes, there are some upgrades available for those who are interested, but I am going to strictly show you what's available today for free and show you how much there is to turn your life into practical spiritual living, being aware of the world around you, training yourself for spiritual living, and inspiring yourself towards it. So if that sounds like something you'd like to do, exploring this tool with me, stick around because we're going to go through it page by page and you'll see all that is here for you. Now, to begin, one thing I love about this app is that you can use it on both desktop and on mobile, and I use it on both. For some things, I love having the flexibility of a large desktop screen, and for other things, I love the portability of having it on my phone. The other thing is, all you have to do is go to a URL, app.3brainliving.com, and you simply create an account with your name and email, and you're in, and you have access to everything here. And don't worry, I am an independent developer of this, and I am meeting you one-on-one to talk to you straight. Like, for me, a lot of the apps in like Google Play, I don't know what they're doing with my data, and I don't know who they are. This is who I am. I have no interest in using your data for any reason other than to provide you with this app. Okay, so that said, let me walk you through what is 100% free for you. We'll start out with just looking at the home page here, and every day you're going to get an opening quote, and there's a little welcome here just to sort of point you to a couple of starting points, and that is the purpose screen and the 3 brain habits. I will show you both of those. I'll show you all of the screens as we walk through today. You're going to see some books that I've written in case you're ever interested in knowing more about my philosophies, digging deep into them. And like I said, you'll have a daily inspirational quote here. But from there, one of the key elements, in my view, about living a spiritual life and a meaningful life is knowing what you're here for and then making sure the things you do hover around that. Why am I here? Why am I uniquely here? Not why somebody else is. Because I believe all of us are living slightly different themes. We have a larger theme of transforming life. That's what we're here to do. But all of us have more specific things that we're after. And so what we open up with is if you go under your life and go to purpose, you have an opportunity, and this is just a sample account that I'm going to walk you through, but I wrote a couple of things in here as just sample things that you could do. But as you see, there is an area where you can write out what you believe your purpose to be. And anytime you want, you can go in and edit that and say, hey, I've kind of refined what my ideas about my purpose are. You can always sort of update that. And down below that, on the purpose page, are purpose goals. This is not about a daily task tracker. This is about those goals that you feel are helping to really genuinely fulfill what you are here to do. So all you have to do is click add a goal, and you can then write whatever it is that you want to add as a goal. And if you reach a point where you have accomplished it, you simply click that you have accomplished it. You can also delete it if you need to. You can also edit it if you want to. Okay, and so this way you have a chance to always go back and check what are the big goals I have for actually fulfilling why I'm here on the planet. And you can add more of these over time. And when you've marked that you've accomplished something, then it will move down into the accomplishments section. And so what I love about this is that over time, let's say 6 months from now, 12 months from now, if you've been using this, you can go in and see, oh yeah, I forgot. And especially if it's like 2, 3, 4 years from now, I forgot that I did all those things. There's this idea out there that most of us think we can do more than we can in a day, but we never realize how much we can accomplish in a year. And when you really look back on things, it's amazing how much you've accomplished over that time. And this is just a nice way of saying not just what tasks did I get done, but how much did I move toward my purpose, so that one day I can look back on my life and say, man, I did what I came here to do. I contributed what I really wanted to contribute. And this can be major projects that you're trying to accomplish, but not just tasks around the house. Again, it's those things that are really about your purpose. Okay, and then the corollary to that is under daily, we have an area called 3 brain habits. Now, this is not about tracking those purpose goals as much, but what this is under the idea of 3 brains, which has to do with the heart, the brain up here, and the gut, all having to do with this collective nervous system we have and these avenues for consciousness to move through us. That's why I call them the 3 brains. And for me, it's really important that we move from the heart, or purpose, plan how to accomplish that purpose, and then execute it with the body. Okay, so you often hear spirit, mind, body, or body, mind, spirit. You often hear that idea. Here we talk about that sort of as heart, brain, and body. It's the same concept, and all of them need to be strengthened on a daily basis if possible. We just need to use them in the right order. We should not be driven by the body, but by the heart. But we still need a strong body to execute. And strength is relative to each of us. Some of us are out there doing heavy lifting, and others, a walk after dinner is just a really important part of movement and exercise for the day. So none of these are defined for you, but there is a goal to every day spend a little time in prayer or meditation, a little time working toward our purpose, as you filled out in the previous screen, and ideally doing some sort of kindness, something that wasn't expected of you that you did for somebody else. And you can click on the information icons for more information on any of these. Okay. We also want to train the brain every day. And we've got some games that we'll go through in a minute, just that are all about brain training. You want to learn something every day. You want to be aware of the world that you're living in. And so you can check when you've done each of these things. I've learned something new, or I paid attention to the news. Now, I understand we maybe don't want to just get buried in today's news, but awareness of the world around you in some form. So again, this is up to you to define, because I'm aware of how the news is not always telling us the truth, and yet at the same time, we do need to look outside ourselves for some awareness of this world we live in. Okay, and then body, strength is stretching, moving and strengthening the body every day. And I have a bonus one, which is a day of peace. And again, click on these. You're going to learn all about what I mean by that. But one of the really important things I feel for living spiritually in this world is being a point of peace that helps to spread that through the world. We are too long a humanity that's always under war, and we have to individually take more responsibility for transforming the energies of the planet. It starts with each one of us individually. So the nice thing with this is, as you check these each day, this starts to get tracked. How many in total were you able to get done each day? And we track some streaks down here, and it's just basically a way to have you inspired to remember to stretch every day, to move every day, to train your brain every day, to live towards your purpose every day. And so it's just a fun way to build up a chart of your last 30 days and sort of see, how am I doing with actually strengthening heart, mind, and body. Okay? So that's really the goal of this screen. And by the way, you can always check on the previous day. We don't have you go back to other days, but you can always go in and check the previous day if you forgot to go in and do your checks. And although push notifications with the app are totally optional, you have to choose that you want to receive them. But if you do, you will get an evening notification each day just reminding you to go in and do these checks. And by the way, depending on whether you move into a paid subscription where there are other types of notifications, you have full control also which notifications you want to receive. All right. Now we'll come back to daily in just a moment. I'm going to finish with your life here. If you haven't heard of human design, you might want to look into it sometime. For me, this is probably the most powerful system out there I've seen for how we are individually built, how energy flows through us, and how we are able to use that to feel and live our purpose properly. I love human design, and so what I've done is I've built a basic and introductory version of human design information right here into the app. Again, this is all free. Now you do have to put your accurate birth information in to receive this. Obviously, I can't do it without that. But again, I'm not interested in using that data for anything other than providing you with this information. So you're going to get this basic information here. There is some additional information, again, that you would get on paid levels. We're not going to go into that today, but this actually tells you a lot. Just understanding your type and your strategy and authority, understanding those details about yourself, helps you understand how you're supposed to interact with the world in a way that pulls you toward your purpose. This will also show all the defined and undefined centers in the body, and you can click on these. You will see the green are defined, the white are undefined, and you can click on them and understand more about yourself from that. So there's a ton of information here, and I shared this with a friend of mine recently who opened this one page up and was absolutely blown away by it. And I really encourage you to check out the human design page. I will, by the way, this is not an accurate body graph in the sense of all the gates and pathways between the centers. The centers are accurate, and that's the only part we're showing here. I loved this stylized, beautiful image and chose to use it because, again, the centers, which is what we're focused on here, that is accurate. But anybody who knows human design will know that all the paths and gates are not showing up here. That is intentional because I leave that to the paid consultants, those who have gone through years of training, and I do link to my wife's own website where she provides those consultations if you're ever interested in going that route as well. Okay, so now we've got purpose, we've got these daily check marks, we have you able to learn more about yourself. Okay, let's jump into what else we can do daily. Remember that for the brain, two of the check marks are training, which you can do with our games. You can do it in other ways too. I'm just building things into the app that I think would be fun and useful for people. So we have games, and then we have awareness of the world around you. Awareness of the world around you, I have an entire section of news written up every morning. So you can come in and check out global issues, US politics. What else do we have as we go down? Technology, science, world business, and then some things down here at the bottom. All of that is summaries of what's going on in the world, and if you want to jump over to headlines, you can do that as well. There's a bunch of headlines on a bunch of different topics. Okay? I will point out, why do I open with global conflict? For me, again, do we want to focus on conflict? Actually, this is a reminder of our role and the importance of us living in peace. So every day, literally this sentence opens the global conflict section, which is that we start with that specifically to remind all of us that our role is to be peace. And if that means a little prayer, a little meditation, peaceful living throughout the day, I just want to always be encouraging that, because I really feel every one of us, regardless of our individual purposes, we can live them in peace. That doesn't mean without boundaries, healthy boundaries and things like that, but we can live them in peace, okay? And spread that into the world. Okay, now for training, I've actually built a lot of games into this that hopefully you'll find at least one or two that you love to jump in and play every day. So we have a sort of Minesweeper type of game that you can play. Left click, opens up, right click to mark where you think the mines are. Okay, there you go. So we're playing some Minesweeper, a tile toggle. If you move these games. See, we do a new one. So you move the tiles around and you try to get it in the right order. You can also just do it as numbers if you prefer. There's a word race game where you're basically doing word searches. You're coming in and looking for any type of word that you can find. Okay, and there you go. You're building up your score and you're trying to beat 60 every day. And of course, I'm just putting that as a goal for you to hit. It's probably easy for a lot of you and you'll score much higher than that. But it's just putting out a little goal to say, hey, good job, you did it. If you've ever played Mastermind, Crack the Code is an sort of a variation on that where you're actually looking to get the colors in order correctly as well as the shapes in order correctly. That's a good mind bender. Down here we have a game I call Wordsmith. It's a little bit like spelling words from a Scrabble rack. You've got your 7 letters here. I've added in some helper letters that you can put in here. And again, with any of these, you can click on how to play, and this will show you how the scoring is done. And you can always click on the bag to check on how many letters you have of each tile left over. And you're basically just trying to score as many points as you can spelling words. And the longer the words you spell, the more bonus points you get along the way. We have a target game that you get to play where essentially you deal out some cards that you're trying to total out to this one up here. And you can add and subtract and multiply and divide numbers to try to hit that. And so, you can 5 times 3. Okay, now I'm working with this. And I can 15 plus 10 is going to give me 25. And I can say 9 minus 8. And then I can say 25 minus 1, and I've hit my 24 objective. That's how you play that game. And then in the end, for now, and I should mention this is an ever-evolving app, so there's going to be more things here over time. And in the jigsaw area, there will be definitely more puzzles over time. But just if you want to get started with something, here are images that you can pick from. This is just from one of the groups. Here's another group here. You can choose from fractals and pick a cool image, and you can choose how many pieces you want the puzzle to have. And there you go. I'll just show you real quickly. Let's do a 64 puzzle. We'll use this image. You hit start, and you can see all you're doing is grabbing the puzzle pieces and dragging them into place. I'm working on the edge pieces first, perhaps, and then you can click here to move to additional pieces and keep finding those edge pieces and start putting them together. And they will snap together as you start fitting the right pieces together. So that is games today. As you can see, there's a lot here. And you even have game stats. So as you are setting your own new records, you can click on that and see how you've done over time. So a lot of fun stuff for you, a lot of practical stuff for you. And then we have 2 more screens. The environment screen give you a sense of what's going on in your environment, sunrise, sunset, the moon phase, air quality, barometric pressure, and you can actually click on these and see how they actually affect you and start to understand how does my environment impact me and grow more awareness of what's going on around you. Right now it looks like there's a minor solar storm going on, so it's tracking that. This will show you if there's been any X-class solar flares off of the sun recently. There's a lot there. And then finally, there's an introductory finance screen. And again, this is introductory. There is more information for those who are in the top tiers. In fact, the VIP level gives extensive information for those who are actually doing investments. And I'll do an entire video on that at another time, but it gets much deeper. But there's an introductory information on the markets and just again making you aware of the environment in which you are operating, in which you are bringing your best self to the world. I even have a proprietary financial outlook. Here's a score of 0 to 100 on how the overall U.S. economy is doing. Of course, we're focused on a lot on the U.S. market here, so a lot of this data has to do with the U.S. market, which of course has impacts around the world. But we do mention global markets here. And then we have U.S. economic news if you're wanting to know, like today is a Saturday, so there's no information, but this will show what kind of economic information is coming out each day, and then once it's out, it will sort of update and show you whether those numbers came out stronger or weaker. So there is a lot here for you to start with purpose, to encourage you to build the strength of heart, mind, and body every day, and giving you tools to train your brain and become more aware of the environment that you are living in. But again, a lot of that is for brain purposes, but we're always promoting that idea of you're out and strengthening the body, you're living your purpose, you're always thinking back, what is my reason for being here, and am I accomplishing that? And so that's why we kind of build all of these things in. Now, like I said, this will continue to develop over time, and in fact, the VIPs do have an option. And again, I'm not going to ever pressure you to move into any sort of paid account. All of this is here for you, and I'm sure there's going to be more features even at the free level. But VIPs do have an opportunity even to ask me about new content for YouTube or even new content for the app itself, and I will always read through all those ideas and see what gets developed from there. So I hope you love the idea of what's here. Again, it works perfectly on your desktop and on your phone. If you do use it on your phone, it opens in a browser, but you can always use the browser's settings to say add to home screen, and then you will get an icon just like you do for any other app, because you don't actually download this from the app stores. You actually just go to app.3brainliving.com and you will be able to access it immediately there. You just create an account and you access it immediately right there. And then if you want to add an icon to your phone, you simply click on add to home screen within the browser settings. So I hope you love what's here. I hope you check it out. And if you're interested in seeing where this goes and seeing also the spiritual philosophies and content I come out with over time here on the channel, I encourage you to also subscribe here and follow along. So meanwhile, thank you for your time, and I hope to see you around the community.